Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be talking about the Star Wars Battlefront Walker Assault video shown at E3 today, and we'll be talking about the co-op missions gameplay reveal as well. There is a lot of juicy material here, so stay tuned. We begin in the Rebel base on Hoth. The graphics are absolutely insane, and the fact that it's running on a PS4 at 60 frames per second is a testament to the fact that they are not sacrificing performance for graphics in this case. It's a iteration of the Frostbite engine, not sure what version of Frostbite, probably like 3.6 or 3.7, something like that. DICE has really stepped up their game in the graphics department, which is a really big testament considering just how good Battlefield 4 looks. Now the game mode being demoed here is called Walker Assault, where giant AT-ATs attack a location. The Imperial forces have to defend and basically fight with the AT-ATs, where the rebels have to do everything in their power to try and stop the AT-ATs before they get to and or destroy the location they're going for. Here we're following an Imperial snowtrooper as he throws a super concussion grenade. I mean, I'm just calling it that. I don't know what the official name of it is, but you'll notice in the user interface there's 4 little buttons in the bottom right corner, and the bottom one is grayed out until I believe you pick up something on the battlefield. So there's sort of these battle pickups. You walk over symbols on the battlefield and they'll give you certain kinds of weapons and or abilities. This rebel trooper here just picked up a smart rocket, and because the symbol he walked over was sort of a generic symbol rather than a rocket symbol, it leads me to believe that the battle pickups are probably going to be randomized, so you won't be able to camp specific types of battle pickups if you know where the best ones are. And I think that's kind of a cool idea, especially if some of the battle pickups are extremely good. You would just get lots of players camping them. You'll notice also after he jetpacked there, he needs to recharge the jetpack icon before he can do it again. The health is represented in the lower center part of the screen, and it seems to have a very fast auto regen feature, so it's not going to be slow over time regeneration. Once you're out of combat for long enough, it seems like you'll just go back to full health pretty quickly. Very similar to, say, the Call of Duty system. I'm not quite sure what the purpose of capturing uplinks are yet, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. And as you can see, you can control the AT-AT on rails, or at least control its head. It does have a designated path that it has to follow, but as you can see, it has a bunch of different abilities it can use. The orbital strike seems to be pretty damn powerful. And again, we have a recharge timer for those abilities. The UI overall seems to be pretty darn simple. Now we're going to switch over to the perspective of a snowspeeder here, showing you that not only can you fly a snowspeeder, but there's going to be TIE fighters and X-Wings to boot. The snowspeeders seem like they're doing some decent damage to those AT-ATs, but just like in the movie, you'll see that the snowspeeders are pretty darn vulnerable. Now the little yellow bar at the bottom of the screen looks like it's representing your throttle, how much you have put on that throttle. And then there's also the little red icon in the lower right corner. When activated, it looks like maybe a boost icon that he used there to sort of get out of the action very quickly, and that again has a recharge timer. And of course you've got to have the fire tow cable option as you fly near the legs of the AT-AT. As you can see, its health is very high, but I guess once you complete enough passes around the legs, you will take down the AT-AT once, of course, the defenses are down. Also, left side of the screen, you'll see a rebel troop celebrating, so it might be a celebration emote available in the game. We'll see if there's some taunts as well. Now we've got the TIE Fighters perspective, showing at least 5 TIE Fighters on the assault there, and then we had 2 X-Wings and 2 Snowspeeders in frame at the same time, so I believe it's probably going to be at least a 5-on-5 as far as the aerial combat is concerned. And it looks like the ion cannon there actually got blown up by some orbital shots, so it's probably more of a scripted event with taking out the ion cannon and not actually a TIE Fighter pass. The aerial vehicles look pretty darn maneuverable and probably have a little bit more arcadey controls there, as the fighters aren't really banking too much to make those tight turns. Here we see another rebel troop using the DLT-19 heavy blaster rifle. He seems to be the same class as before but has a different weapon, and when switching to third person perspective you see that he is actually a Rhodian, which is really cool. I love that they're doing the different types of heads that you can customize your character with, because I mean the Rebel Alliance wouldn't just be made up of humans. And here his teammate puts down a shield generator, and I guess once you're in it you can actually see the health of the shield generator. And now the camera focuses on a rebel shooting his A295 blaster and all of a sudden getting force choke, and camera pans, we see Darth Vader, and it looks like you can turn on and off your lightsaber mid-combat, which is pretty darn cool. Maybe when you force choke you turn off your lightsaber. And then from the perspective of Luke, we see him take out snowtroopers with one swing apiece and then deflects lasers back at his target, killing them relatively easily. His icons seem to indicate that he might even have a lightsaber throw ability. And after he force pushed, he had a pretty substantial cooldown on that ability as well. And as if that trailer was not epic enough, they've also thrown in the co-op gameplay trailer as well. This is something where you can actually play solo or with a friend, and it's basically a fight against enemy waves game mode, up to 15 enemy waves. You play as 2 rebel troops stranded in a combat zone waiting for the Rebel Alliance to come and rescue you, and that's Admiral Akbar on your little heads-up display. You can also see your radar showing you your out of bounds limits there, and it seems like you have a pretty big combat area, so you can customize your strategies and how you want to defend against the endless waves of enemies. In the upper right, you can see we're on wave 1 of 15 fighting stormtroopers, and as it progresses, the enemies will get harder. We also see a drop pod here after this wave, and it appears that once you fly up next to it and activate it, you are now in a defend the pod mission mode. So rather than being able to run all over the place, it seems like your objectives change depending on what wave you're on, which is kind of cool. And here we've got some advanced shock troopers and a cool new personal shield that we haven't seen before. In this next clip, we're going to see a soldier shoot a shot from a grenade launcher that seems to blow up in a cluster fashion and throw the super concussion grenade we saw before, absolutely wrecking tons and tons of stormtroopers. Then we get a Halo-esque melee takedown, and we see some TIE fighters doing a strafing run as well. In fact, your teammate was shooting at the TIE fighter, which leads me to believe that those might actually be some of the enemies you have to kill during the waves. And then it's quickly going to progress us to wave 15, in which we will be seeing some AT-STs, so it doesn't seem like we're going to have to deal with any AT-ATs hopefully, but AT-STs are bad enough considering that you're just 2 rebel troops. And with the help of what looks like an orbital strike, they're able to take down 1 and finish off the last one with even some blaster fire, which is kind of cool that you can hurt them with your traditional weapons. And why not finish off the game mode with an X-Wing strafing run on some sand troopers as we see a Star Destroyer crashing and burning in the background. Then we get a quick glimpse of the split screen co-op on Endor, some X-Wing versus TIE Fighter combat, and of course Luke and Vader clashing lightsabers at the end. It also looked like they were fighting on Solist. And as if showing off these 2 new game modes in these epic videos wasn't enough, they've also announced new game modes called Supremacy, Fighter Squadron, Blast, Drop Zone, and Cargo, and they've even said that there's going to be more than just those game modes. Now there's a ton more information here, and I would love to do some further breakdowns for you guys. Hopefully I'll get my hands on with the game soon and I can give you even more information. As always guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for further updates on Star Wars Battlefront, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing up.